Good morning, friends. Today we are going to read a wonderful story called The Mitten. It's adapted and illustrated by Jan Brett. All right, friends, I want you to look really close at the cover of this book. What is it that the animals are looking for? I like that. Yes, you're right. The animals are looking at the mitten right here in the snow. What color is the mitten? Very good. All right, let's see what happens with this mitten and all the animals. This book was written for Sylvia Kyle, Ruth Ann Johnson, Rebecca Lim, and Tad Beagley. I love it when the authors do a dedication page for people that are important to them. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. "If you drop one in the snow," she warned, "you'll never find it." But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them. Who do you think his Baba is? After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Do you see what animal's inside this mitten over here? A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. So burrowing means you get into something. Burrowed inside. The mole got into the mitten. What animal's coming next? A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. What are kickers? Yes, the rabbit's feet. Good job. So here he is, wiggling in with his feet going in first. What's next? Do you know this animal? Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. If you look closely here, his hands don't have either mitten on, but there is one inside his belt. Oh, there's the hedgehog squeezing into that mitten. What animal's coming next? It's an owl. Yes. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. The talons, if you saw them, are right here. Look at how sharp those are. Would you move over if an owl wanted to get in your mitten? Let's see what animal comes next. Oh, you can barely see him right here. Up through snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. Here's his diggers. We're going to let him in because he has sharp diggers. Look at how big that mitten is getting. It's a good thing it can stretch. What animal is next? Oh, is that a fox? It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. There's the big fox. I don't know how all these animals are fitting inside. What's coming next? Boys and girls, look at that. Do you predict the bear wants to be in the mitten too? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think that bear is going to fit inside the mitten. Let's read on to find out. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be, but what animal could argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged so many times its size, but Baba's good knitting held fast. Remember, his Baba is another word for grandma. It comes from the Ukraine, a country in Europe, far away from here in Iowa. Look what's coming next. It's a teeny tiny mouse. Oh, look at him. What does he see? He sees one mitten. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. Do you find it? Point on the screen to where the little mouse is. Yes. But look here. What do you think he realizes in this picture? Yeah, he realizes he only has one mitten. Uh-oh, what's happening? All the animals are not in the mitten. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. Here's a couple of the animals. And look at what he sees. Oh, Nicky sees. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. Here's some more animals in the snow. Look at him catch it. Ah, Nicky's lucky. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. Boys and girls, look at Baba's face. And look at what she's holding. She's holding both of Nicky's mittens. What do you think Baba is thinking about those two mittens? I hope you enjoyed our story today called The Mitten. Jan Brett has a lot of other wonderful stories and illustrated picture books that if you want to check out from the public library, you can do that.